warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, I am from group 19. I will continue the presentation. Passage 1. Award the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1918, German physicist Max Planck is best remembered as the originator of the quantum theory. His work helped users in a new era in theoretical physics and revolutionized the scientific community's understanding of atomic and subatomic processes. Planck introduced an idea that led to the quantum theory, which became the foundation of 20th century physics. In December 1900, Planck worked out an equation that described the distribution of radiation accurately over the range of low to high frequencies. He had developed a theory which depended on a model of matter that seemed very strange at the time. The model required the emission of electromagnetic radiation in small chunks or particles. These particles were later called quantums. The energy associated with each quantum is measured by multiplying the frequency of the radiation, V, by a universal constant, H. Thus, energy, or E, equals hv. The constant H is known as Planck's constant. It is now recognized as one of the fundamental constants of the world. Planck announced his finding in 1900, but this was years before the full consequences of his revolutionary quantum theory were recognized. Throughout his life, Planck made significant contributions to optics, thermodynamics, and statistical mechanics, physical chemistry, and other fields. In 1913, he was elected president of the Kaiser Wilhelm Society, which was renamed the Max II. Dove deployed opposed to the fascist regime of Adolf Hitler. Planck remained in Germany throughout the war. He died in Göttingen on October 4, 1947. Okay, uh, I will choose one of you to answer my question. Dian, can you hear me?
Yes, Tia.
Okay, my question. Wait. In which of the following fields did Max Planck not make a significant contribution? A. Optics. B. Thermodynamics. C. Statistical mechanics. D. Biology. Dian,
Yeah, Puput. My answer is D.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Alright. 100 for you, Dian. Okay, next passage 2. Like mammals, birds claim their own territories. A bird's territory may be small or large. Some bird claims only their nest and the area right around it, while others claim far larger territories that include their feeding areas. Gulls, penguins, and other waterfowl nest in hub colonies, but even in the biggest colonies, each male and his mate have small territories of their. Male birds defend their territories supply against other males of the same species. In some cases, a warning call or threatening post may be all the defense needed, but in other cases, intruders may refuse to live peacefully. Okay, I will choose one of you to answer my question. I choose Laila Puspitra Anggraini.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, question passage 2. According to the passage, male birds define their territory primarily against A. Female birds, B. Birds of other species, C. Males of their own species, and D. Mammals. What's your answer,
Please
Laila?
repeat your question.
Okay. According to the passage, male birds defend their territory primarily against A. Female birds, B. Birds of other species, C. Males of their own species, and D. Mammals.
Maybe C. I choose C.
Are you sure?
Yes, sure.
Alright. 1,000 for you.
Thank
100 for
you.
you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, next passage 3. Passage 3. The concept of analogy and homology are probably easier to exemplify than to define. When different species are structurally compared, certain features can be described as either analogous or homologous. For example, flight requires certain rigid aeronautical principle of design, yet birds, bats, and insects have all conquered the air. The wings of all three types of animals derive from different embryological structures, but they perform the same functions. In this case, the flight organs of these creatures can be said to be analogous. In contrast, features that arise from the same structure in the embryo but are used in different functions are said to be homologous. The pectoral fins of a fish, the wings of a bird, and the forelimbs of a mammal are all homologous structures. They are genetically related in the sense that both the forelimb and the wing evolved from the vine. I will choose one of you to answer my question. Paras Permatasari. Paras, can you hear me?
Yes, Ria.
Okay. My question, which of the following best describes the organization of the passage? A. A contrast between two concepts by means of examples. B. A general concept is introduced, examples are given, and a conclusion is offered. C. Two definitions of the same concept are compared. D. Two proposals are suggested and support for both is offered. Paras, what's your answer?
My answer is B.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think.
Good job. 100 for you.
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys. Maybe I have enough of my presentation. I'm sorry for my mistake. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.